welcome to today's lesson. We'll be working today from the Headway Plus Upper Intermediate. And to start with, we will be discussing homophones and homonyms. A homophone,
is it to do with the spellings being different?
it's words with the same pronunciation, but they have different spellings and they have different meanings.
Okay.
We will be looking at examples of both of these as we go along, and we will be doing some work with them. First, what do these words mean? Work on your own, but we will work together in this case. What do these words mean? Fine.
The word fine has two meanings.
Yes.
Fine as in, for example, a fine sunny day, a fine piece of cloth, something which is quite nice, it means. On the other hand, it could mean you've been fined by a police officer for travelling too fast in your car, something like that.
Correct. Very good. I'm impressed. Okay, Paul. The second word we are looking at is match. What is the meaning of match?
So you could have a football match, a cricket match, a boxing match, so it's to do with sport. Also, you could have a match which is used to light fires. When you strike the match on a piece of, it's like sandpaper.
Yes.
And you strike the match and it burns a red or a yellow flame, and you can use it to light a fire.
Yes. And in fact, there's another meaning of match. You can say these two items match. They go together. So match can, What about the word park? How many meanings for park can you think of?
Well, Tottenham Hotspur have a football player, and his name's Park, so it could be a South Korean name. However, to be more serious, you can park your car. You can park your car in a car park. So to park your car is to actually drive your car in a particular space.
Yes.
And a car park is a large area for cars. But then you also have a park that's full of trees and green spaces where you could actually play football and have a football match in a park on a very fine day.
Yes. Paul, you are amazing. Thank you for that. And I wonder how many words or how many meanings for the word book you can think of.
Well, on this fine sunny day in the park when you're playing a football match, if you commit a foul, you can get a yellow card and your name goes into the referee's book. So that means you've been booked by the referee. Of course, you can borrow a book from a library, and also you can make a reservation in a restaurant. You can book your table.
Yes,
absolutely. So I think there's quite a few meanings for the word book, actually.
Yes, you're absolutely correct. Well done. What about cross?
Well, if we were to draw a cross, it could be like the shape of an X from the alphabet. If someone upsets you, they can make you slightly angry, which would mean that you are cross. And you can also cross the channel on the ferry.
You are absolutely spot on there. And the last word in this list, mean.
What does mean mean? Well, I think I know what mean means. Mean means that if you are mean, it means that you are not a nice person. So a mean person is not a nice person. Perhaps they could be quite a cruel person. It's kind of like the opposite of mean. So, as I was emphasizing the word mean, it's to do with the understanding. When you know what something means, you understand what something means.
Absolutely, Paul. Thank you so much for that. Now, what I want a little more challenging is to listen and to understand the words you are hearing. Okay, what I would like you to do now, class, is I'm going to read you some words, and I want you to write down what you hear. I will only say the word once, so listen carefully. Okay, listen to these words and write down the word that you hear.
Okay.
First word, where. Second word, nose. Third word, male. Next, break. Then, through. And finally, sent.
Teacher, can I ask you, are these words homonyms or homophones?
Yes, they are in fact homonyms. There are various ways of spelling these words and they have different meanings, although they are pronounced the same. So Paul, the first word you heard was, that you wrote down, where.
Yes.
How did you spell that?
Well, I spelled it two different ways. The first way I spelled it as W-H-E-R-E, and the second way, W-E-A-R.
Good, let's put that up on the board.
Well, this should be interesting.
No, let's not. We can't get there. Let's just do it all.
How are you going to put that on the board then?
Yeah, because we haven't got
Okay, Gregory, what you can do...
the whiteboard set.
Now, what you can do, we can set the whiteboard up, and you can type it in. Okay? So, we'll just... Don't touch anything. We'll just minimise that so we can come back to it. Now we can get rid of this. Now, if we just set the board up... Off you go. Set it up. You don't actually need to set it up, but I suppose it's just as well. So because we can't draw or anything, but to keep it in mind. So
we should be able to draw here if I want to, surely.
Try, yeah. See if it works. Okay. There you go.
Cool, then I'll write the words.
Okay. Continue, teacher.
Okay, so Paul, how did you spell where?
The first one, W-H-E-R-E.
W-H-E-R-E, and the second one?
W-E-A-R.
W-E-A-R. And I know that you understand the difference between those two words.
Yes, well, where is to do with place or location.
Yes.
For example, if I can't find my glasses, where are my glasses? Oh, I found them. And I wear a shirt, I wear a tie, that's W-E-A-R.
Correct, well done. The next word I mentioned was nose.
So the first one, N-O-S-E. That's to do with the nose on my face. And the other one, K-N-O-W-S, which is a silent K, which is to do with what he understands. He knows something.
It is to do with having knowledge, yes. Then we had mail.
I know this one. M-A-I-L. This is to do with letters and emails. And then M-A-L-E. This is to do with men and boys. They are male.
Absolutely. What is the opposite of male?
Female.
Female, correct. I thought you were going to tell me email.
Emu, maybe.
The next word we had was break.
B-R-E-A-K. This is something you know a lot about, Mr. Gregory. It's when you don't actually work for a few minutes, maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. You have a break for a coffee, like a coffee break. The other break, B-R-A-K-E. This is like the brakes on a car or a bicycle or a motorcycle, which slow the vehicle down.
Yes. In fact, it's a verb. It means to bring to a stop or to slow down.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Class, have you got all of these? I want to clear the board.
Yes, we have.
Thank you.
Very good, teacher. That's amazing. If you want to do it quickly,
Yeah.
what I do, I just
get a new page.
I just click on the red cross there and just get another one. I just go click, click.
Actually, that's what I must do.
Yeah. Save the time.
Because I can't write at the top of the board because my arm cannot. Good, then the next word that we had was through. What did you make of that, Paul?
Well, I've actually got 3 spellings for this.
Oh, yeah.
Because I have 2 British and 1 American.
Okay.
So, the first one is THROUGH. And this means to go or to walk through the door, an opening, something like that, to travel through something.
Yes.
And the other one is THREW.
Aha.
And this is the past of throw. We could say he threw the cricket ball.
Yes, absolutely.
And the American spelling for both words and both meanings is THRU. That's American English.
Yes, the Americans tend to shorten many words, don't they?
Well, apparently so.
And Paul, the last word we had was sent.
So the first one was SENT.
S-E-N-T, yes.
Which is the past of send. We could say he sent an email this morning, for example. And the other sent, S-C-E-N-T, which is to do with the smell or the aroma of perfume.
Yes, very good, Paul. And what do we call these words? Where they are spelled differently, have different meanings, but have the same pronunciation.
Perhaps you'd like to tell us, teacher.
They are homonyms. They sound the same, they are spelled differently, and have different meanings.
All right.
So let us go on. Compare your answers with exercise 1 and 2. We've done all of that. Okay, so as we understand, homonyms are words with the same spelling and different meanings. Let us have a look at some of those. We have a bank in the high street, and we have the bank of a river. I've supported you up till now, but don't bank on it forever. You see the different meanings of the word bank, but all spelt the same and pronounced the same.
Yeah, so the bank is the building in the high street, whereas the other bank is the side of the river, like the river bank.
And don't bank on it forever.
So that's an expression which means don't rely on that.
Absolutely, you've got it spot on there, Paul. Now, what words can you fill in here? What homonyms can you fill in there to complete both sentences, both in the pairs, that have the same spelling, same pronunciation, but different meanings? The first one, number 1. You'll like Paul, he's a really something guy. Easygoing and very good looking. And the second sentence of the pair, there was a lovely something breeze coming off the sea. What word do you think you could put in there, Paul?
Well, let me see. Let me just see. Well, you like Paul, he's a really nice guy. Can we say that?
We can say he's a really nice guy. Would that nice also fit in there with a different meaning? Not really.
Oh.
What we want is a word that fits in both spaces, but has different meanings with the same pronunciation and spelling.
Right. Let me think about that for a second.
So if you say a person is really nice, he's easygoing, good looking, probably helpful, and just a generally all-round nice guy, you'd say he has a what sort of personality?
Friendly.
You could say friendly, but you wouldn't say it was a friendly breeze blowing off the sea.
Oh, I see, teacher. Cool.
You could say he's a really cool guy, And there was a lovely cool breeze coming off the sea, yes.
Oh, now I've heard.
In fact, you could also use the word warm, couldn't you?
Really?
He's a really warm guy. Means he's really compassionate and feeling and kind.
What's the word that goes in the blank?
So in the blank, I think what you said is quite correct.
Cool. Yeah.
He's a really cool guy. So it's a fairly slangy sort of term, but it's quite acceptable in everyday English. And there was a lovely cool breeze coming off the sea.
Yes.
What about number 2? What's today's
Date.
something? What's today's date? The 3rd. I've got a date tonight. I'm going out with Carol.
Woo-hoo.
What is the difference in meaning between those two, the usage of date in those two sentences?
Well, the date, if we're talking about time, refers to today's particular time and position in the calendar.
Yes.
Whereas a date with somebody is like a meeting, like a little rendezvous. I mean, in some cases it could be thought of as a little tete-a-tete, which is something else.
Indeed. So a date is where we are in the course of the year, what day of the month we are at and what month we are in, the month that we are in, and which day of that month we are at. Number 3, friends is something in New York. My wife bought me a chess something for my birthday.
Set.
Oh, very good, Paul. Would you like to read it for us using the word set?
Friends is set in New York. My wife bought me a chess set for my birthday.
Yes. Where else? Can you think of another meaning of the word set?
Indeed I can.
Would you like to share that with us?
A set of playing cards.
Absolutely, yes. And you also talk about the set of a play.
You do.
Which is the...
As in Friends is set.
Friends is set in New York, quite so.
You could have a tea set.
And number 4. He goes to the gym every day. He's very something.
He goes to the gym every day. He's very fit.
Oh, fantastic. His trousers are too small. They don't fit you. Difference in meaning? Would you like to explain that to us, Paul?
Yes.
Let me explain. If you go to the gym every day and you're working out in the gym, you become very fit. And the guys that become very fit and healthy, they're like that in the gym, aren't they, you know? And they're walking around like this. I don't know why they walk from side to side. I don't know why they do that. But healthily, they're very fit. Now, as one knows, as you get older and older, as I've done, as we all do, you do tend to put on a bit of weight. So sometimes I go to the shop to buy a pair of trousers. American English, that's a pair of pants. That's Mr. Gregory sneezing because he's not very fit. Anyway, so I go to buy a pair of trousers, British English trousers, American English pants, and sometimes I can't get into them because I'm too fat. I'm not very fit. And I say, well, these trousers don't fit. They're too small. So that's my definition of being fit and healthy and clothes that don't fit because I'm too fat. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. That was absolutely spot on. What do you make of number 5? Would you read it for us and give us the missing word? Can you think of the missing word? I can't. Something people who never stop talking about themselves.
Yes.
And my 4-year-old son won't go anywhere without his teddy something.
I can't bear people who never stop talking about themselves. This also, of course, means I can't stand people who never stop talking. In other words, I don't like them. So I can't bear people who never stop talking about themselves. Mm-hmm. And in the other sentence, my 4-year-old son won't go anywhere without his teddy bear.
Yes. And can you think of another word pronounced the same but spelled differently?
To what?
To bear.
Yes. B-A-R-E.
Which means?
It's when you don't have any clothes on, when you are naked.
Yes. We also refer to the trees in fall as becoming bare, as they lose their leaves.
What is fall, teacher?
Fall is the American way of talking about autumn. The book we are working from is an American headway, not British headway. Here are some more homonyms. So can you think of two meanings for all of these words? Wave. What are two meanings for the word wave, Paul?
The first meaning of wave is when you are saying goodbye to your friends and you gesture with your hand to wave goodbye. The other wave is if you're in the sea, perhaps you're going surfing in the sea, and there's a big wave, and they call this a rip. So they use their surfboards to ride the wave.
Yes. And in fact, you also, in trigonometry, have a sine wave, which is a wave, a curving wave. Okay, Mr. Paul.
Yes.
The word suit.
Suit is a jacket and a pair of trousers. Usually you would wear a tie and a shirt, not necessarily in that order, and the whole combination would be a suit. Now another suit could be, if you're playing cards, you have 4 different suits. You have hearts, clubs, diamonds and spades in a suit of cards. Another suit is if you like something, then it suits you. You are comfortable with that particular situation. It's a situation that suits you.
A very good and clear definition there, Paul. Thank you. What about fan? What can you tell us about fan? And meanings thereof.
Fan, well, you could be a fan of a football club, a football fan. Another fan, you could buy a fan, especially they have them in Spain, when it's very hot. And these old ladies, they like to buy these fans to keep them cool. And the fan would be something they carry in their hand, they go like that with it, a bit like that. So this is the verb to fan one's self. And I don't know if you've seen those Spanish fans, the ladies have them like this to keep them cool.
Very good, Paul. You really are making progress by leaps and bounds with your English.
Thanks.
What about the word miss? What are the different meanings of the word miss?
I don't know, I can't see you standing in the way. Miss, this is when you, for example, if you're playing cricket and they hit the ball with the cricket bat, but on one occasion perhaps they don't hit the ball. In that case, they miss the ball, and sometimes the ball will be put out of play. You could miss the bus if you're waiting for the bus. The bus left at 11:55, so you missed the bus. That would be the past of miss. You can miss your friends if you're on holiday or if you're working overseas. Maybe miss your family. That's a state of emotion.
And it also refers to an unmarried lady, doesn't it?
Yes, wouldn't that be a capital M, teacher?
It probably would be, yes.
Probably.
But the spelling and the pronunciation remains the same.
Okay.
What about type?
What about type?
How many meanings of type can you come up with?
Oh, so many. So many.
Give us two or three, please.
Okay. You might like a particular type of car. I mean, I like the Rolls Royce. I can just see myself driving a Rolls Royce. because that's my type of car. You can physically type on your keyboard, on your laptop, and so that's two different types of type.
Moving along. Point. Point could be to him over there.
Oh, you look like John Travolta, teacher.
Thank you, it's really kind of you to say so, I think. And I could also ask you, Paul, what is the point that you're trying to make? In other words, what is it you're trying to explain? What is the conclusion you're trying to get me to see? What is your point?
Right.
And if you sharpen a pencil, it has a sharp point.
Yes.
What about train? Paul, how many meanings of train can you come up with?
So, if you go to the gym and you get really fit, the first thing you have to do is train. You have to train in the gym, you have to train. And all this business, like they do in the Japanese factories at 9 o'clock in the morning. You have to train to get fit. So that's the verb to train. You get nice and fit and healthy. There, of course, is the noun, train. And we have a lot of trains in Britain, and they're very effective. It's an effective mode of transport. And to give you some idea, you know, a train kind of makes that sound, doesn't it? Go, but that's more like the locomotive train, as opposed to the diesel or the engine trains. You have underground trains.
What sound does a diesel train make?
I don't know. Do we have diesel trains anymore? I don't know. But you have trains that go underground, you have trains that go overground, all kinds of trains. But don't forget, physically train your body. You can also train a dog, because you know a dog will actually be messy in the house. You have to teach them. You have to train the dog. If he wants to go to the toilet, he must go outside. But did you know a pig will not make a mess like that in the house? The pig will always go outside. But the dog, you have to train.
Very interesting, Paul. Thank you. And of course, Rio is in the process of getting its own metro now, which will probably become functional sometime next year. What about right, Paul? What can you tell us about right? How many meanings for right can you come up with?
Oh, one or two.
Please do so.
Well, when I have a discussion with someone, I am always right. That's a very arrogant statement. Because we're not always right, are we, in our discussions? Sometimes we're wrong. And then we have the directional right. If you're in a car, you can go straight ahead, or you can turn right, or perhaps you can turn left. There's a right turn and a left turn in life.
Yes. And in fact, it also has a political meaning. We talk about people in the political spectrum being either leaning to the left or to the right.
Teacher, we're not allowed to talk about politics.
With the right being more conservative. Moving along. Paul, can you think of two meanings of mind?
Well, indeed I can.
Would you mind giving us a couple, please?
I wouldn't mind at all. Someone might say to you, excuse me, would you mind opening the window for me? Say, yes, no problem. If you're on a train, perhaps, you'll open the window for them. Because you want to be helpful. You don't mind helping. And then, of course, we have the abstract mind. The mind which is different from the brain. You see, the brain is physical. It's a physical component of the human body. But the mind, now that's something different. It's what makes us all different. And it's abstract in its being. It's not something you can actually physically hold in your hand. That's where we have this term, mind games, where you are using the power of your brain to effectively and cognitively learn English. But the mind, well, that's something else.
Very well expressed again, Paul. Yes, the mind is said to be our personality, the way we look at life, the way it makes us who we are. So they say. So Paul, there is the phonetic spelling of this word. How would you pronounce that?
Road.
Absolutely. And the first sentence is?
The road to the town centre.
And that is the path, that is the way to the town centre, upon which cars or horses may travel. The second sentence?
She rode a horse.
Which means she mounted a horse.
Okay.
She was sitting on a horse and causing it to move in a particular direction at a particular speed. And the third one, Paul?
I rode across the river.
Yes, you were sitting in a boat
With a
floating
pair
in
of
the
oars.
water, and you had oars, and you were...
Yeah, I was sitting in a boat.
Very good, Paul. You hit the nail on the head. Write the word in phonetics in the correct spelling.
Okay.
What would you say the pronunciation of that would be, Paul?
Whole.
Whole. And how would you spell whole in the whole world?
W-H-O-L-E.
And how would you spell a hole in the ground?
H-O-L-E.
Very good. What would be the pronunciation of that, do you feel?
Oh, sorry, teacher. A piece of
Peace.
cake.
Ah, yes. And how would you spell peace in cake, as referring to cake?
P-E-A-C-E.
Ah, Paul, you've let me down. You've been doing so well up until now.
Sorry, teacher.
And there your whole record goes down the tubes.
So how do you spell piece as in a piece of cake, teacher?
The spelling when you refer to a piece of cake is P-I-E-C-E. A piece of cake.
Oh, yes.
And then we have the famous book War and Peace. How do you spell that piece?
P-E-A-C-E.
Fantastic, Paul. You've redeemed yourself. The phonetic spelling of that word is pronounced how?
Flower.
Flower. A rose is a flower. And the spelling of that flower would be?
F-L-O-W-E-R.
And flour to make bread, how would you spell that, Paul?
F-L-O-U-R.
Fantastic. This word, what is the pronunciation?
Sails.
Sails. A yacht has sails. How do you spell that?
S-A-I-L-S.
Correct. And you buy clothes in the sales?
Yes.
I'm not sure if I would use that word.
Sails.
And how would you pronounce that?
I just did.
I mean, how would you spell that?
S-A-L-E-S.
Thank you so much. How would you pronounce that?
Sell.
Sell. Salespeople sell things. How would you spell sell in that case?
S-E-L-L.
S-E-L-L, correct. And a prisoner lives in a cell. How would you spell that cell?
C-E-L-L.
Absolutely, which is a small closed room with a barred door that he cannot leave. Think of homophones for these words.
Is that homophone or homophone?
I think either pronunciation is correct, but homophone is more commonly used.
Okay.
So think of a homophone for board.
Smartboard.
Well, what would the difference in spelling be?
Oh, I see. B-O-A-R-D.
Yes. This board means to...
Isn't that yawn, teacher?
That's yawning because I am bored. It means I am not interested. It's really does not hold my attention at all. The word court, what other spelling could we have for court?
C-O-U-R-T.
And the difference in meaning between the two would be?
The cricketer caught the ball. The goalkeeper caught the ball.
Yes.
The police officer took the criminal to court.
Yes. Court, past tense of catch. And the other court is where you go to face the might of the law when you've done something wrong. The word war, what other spelling could we have for war?
Well, W-O-R-E, which is the past of where.
Yes. And this war is?
This is battle, fighting.
Battle, conflict, generally often between two different countries. Hire.
Hire, in this means to rent something. But another spelling, H-I-G-H-E-R, is to be elevated upward.
Correct. Well expressed. What about pair?
Pair means two. A pair of glasses, a pair of shoes, a pair of trousers, a pair of pants. And you can also pair people up, put them in pairs.
Yes.
You can do pair work, role play. But there's a noun pair, which is the fruits.
And how do we spell that?
P-E-A-R.
Very good. What about plane?
Plane, aeroplane, plane, American for aeroplane is plane, P-L-A-N-E.
And this plane means?
Very ordinary.
Very, yes. Waist.
That's around your stomach area, that's your waist. And the other waist, W-A-S-T-E, is when you throw things away which perhaps or maybe you can use again.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, let's move along to the next point. Seas.
That's like the oceans, like the Pacific Ocean and the Indian Ocean, these are the seas.
Yes.
And he sees, that's S-E-E-S, he sees somebody, maybe in the street.
Absolutely correct. Sure.
This sure means absolutely, definitely, 100%, no question. And the other shore, S-H-O-R-E, that's like the seashore.
Yes. That is when you are next to the sea, lying in the sun, enjoying the scenery and the refreshing water. Allowed.
When you say something very loud, you say it aloud. And the other one is A-L-L-O-W-E-D, gives permission. If you are allowed to borrow your father's car, he allows you to. So you are allowed to drive his car.
That is fantastic. You really got the hang of this now, Paul. And class, I hope you have all been taking notes. And thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. And we will continue with the next lesson next time. Thank you so much.